So why exactly are you getting married? Is it the wedding that you want, or do you actually want to be married? Come on in here so we can chit chat, because we need to talk. See, because if you want a ring, they sell those without the license. They sell those without the obligation. If you want a big fancy party where you can drink and dance and laugh, you can do that anytime, any weekend. You can plan a big fancy party. If you want to look pretty and be the center of attention, your birthday is coming up, I'm sure. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all. Good Monday evening. It is Monday, right? You know, time don't mean a whole bunch around here anymore. Um, it's the girl Alma. Just wanted to pop in and have a little conversation. I'm not gonna be quick. I'm gonna take my time with this one. I've been thinking about this for a couple of hours now, and it always comes to me, especially when I come across posts or memes or happen upon a TV show or conversations um, that deal with weddings and marriage and how they equate the two. But first of all, before we get started, good evening. Again, happy Monday evening to you all. We are blessed. We are highly favored to be here. So I just want to invite the ancestors and the Holy Spirit and my grandmothers and my angels to be here with us and to be amongst us and to be in my mind so I can say the right things. I don't take this platform, however small it is, however new it is, I don't take it for granted. Um, if you're going to get out and speak to the public, you have to be responsible, however big or however small your audience or your population is, because even if you're talking to just one person, if you have the power to influence them, then you have to be responsible in your words. You have to be responsible in your actions and everything, because people are watching you. And I represent more than just me. I represent my children. I represent my family, my parents, obviously. I represent the race. I represent black women. And I don't take any of that lightly. So the things I say, I think very hard and long about them. And I want to make sure that in representing all those people and, mostly myself, that I'm saying the most responsible things. I'm saying it in the best way possible, not to offend anybody, not to put anybody down for their decisions or their opinions or anything. But this is mine. And so again, let's go ahead and get started. Um, please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Again, like I said, and I say it mostly all the videos. Even if we disagree, if you said in a respectful way, all I can do is agree to disagree with you. But I love to hear from you all. I love to talk with you all. I love to get your perspectives on the things I say, because I'm only what 51. I have not even began to live, and I don't know everything. Begun, yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know everything, so I'm just I'm learning too. So come on, talk to me. Um, yeah. So subscribe to my channel. It's getting interesting. It's fun. I'm loving it. I'm liking it. It's all that good stuff. So yeah. So tonight. Um, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I won't name the young lady's page, but she's very, very prominent. She has a very large following, and I really do like the content that she puts out. I really like the posts that she makes. I really do. I think she's really smart, and I think she's probably only in her maybe late 20s or early 30s. And shout out to those women, those young women born in the 90s. Man, y'all rock, okay? And I have two daughters that are amongst that age group. I don't know what gen y'all are, X, Z, Y, whatever. But those women, those young women born in the 90s, like y'all are doing the damn thing. And hats off to y'all, really. Like, I'm so proud of you all. Um, since I've been more into my platform and my channel, I follow a lot of women young women on YouTube, and I'm noticing that they're my daughter's ages, and my daughters like I said, they also are doing the damn thing. They both have what you call those things, the vlogs and everything like that. And these young women are trailblazing. They are really smart. They're super intelligent, and they're not just, into superficial beauty, but they are really, really mindful of the things that are going on around them, and they are really making a difference. I listen to them. Like I said, I don't look at, because I'm 51 and they're in their 30s, or even late 20s, that they don't have some wisdom to impart to me. Yeah, they actually do. So, shout out to the young women in their 30s, born in the 90s. Y'all are doing it. And auntie, mama, whoever I am, to y'all. Auntie, am I an auntie? I think I'm an auntie. Auntie's proud of y'all. Okay? Miss Nicole is proud of y'all. So, mommy is very proud of you all, Imani and Nia. Extremely proud. So, keep up the good work in that. So, I ran across her page, and did y'all like how I remembered what I was talking about? Because sometimes you stray off and you be like, oh my God, what was I talking about? But I remembered. Yes, it must be the sweet tea. Anyways, so the woman was talking about having a wedding. That's what she was talking about. And she talks about getting ready for your marriage, getting ready for your wedding, waiting for your husband. God's gonna send you a husband. This is a year for your husband. She herself is waiting to get married. She wants to be married. That's what I would say 95% of her posts are about. Getting married. Getting married. That's what she talks about. Get on in here. Get on in here. If you just joined me, go ahead and click subscribe. You don't even have to, you didn't miss anything. I'm just getting into the crux, and I had to take a break because just saying that word marriage brought back some things for me. So if you know me, I have nothing to hide about my past life. My past. I've been married twice, and I have some wisdom. I believe I have some wisdom. I believe I can talk about it. I believe I can be a counselor at this point. If I were to be hired, I think I would be a damn good marriage counselor. I think I could convince people who are not sure if they should get married. I think I could convince them otherwise, either way, to or not to get married at this point. So the post that triggered this video was something like, wedding season is coming, ladies, and get ready. And there was a picture of a beautiful black bride and her husband. I guess it was their post-wedding picture, something like that. Very, very beautiful young black woman, very beautiful black couple. And again, the woman who created the post, whose page it was, the administrator of the page, is encouraging women her age to get ready for their wedding. Listen, mama getting ready to get real with y'all. Little sisters, little queens. If you don't hear anything else from me tonight, listen to what I'm telling you, and I'm going to say it as bluntly as I know how. Don't go in debt to have a fancy party. Do not go in debt to have a fancy party, because at the end of the day, that's all a wedding is. It's a party for your friends. It's a party for your family. It's a party for your coworkers. It's a party for some people, let's keep it real, to show off. It's a party for some people to say, hey, look what I did, look what I got. Especially, when they go all out. And that they've known this person for less than a year, you know that they don't have a clue as to what they're doing. You know that they've been talking about this wedding since they were 15 years old. This wedding. They've been talking about this wedding, this wedding. Baby, listen. If you want to have a fancy $20,000 party, go on and throw yourself a party. Invite all your friends. Plan a program, all that. You don't need to enter into a binding contract, a binding legal contract with someone to have a party. Because though marriage is wonderful, and I want to put that disclaimer out there right now, I am not here to bash marriage. I'm not here to put marriage down. Marriage is actually a wonderful institution when it works. Marriage is actually probably one of the best things that has saved the black family. Really, it probably has. I've seen my peers. Some of them have been married since they left high school and have been married 30 years. And oh my God, hats off to you all. Kudos to you all. Thumbs up to you all. I've not kept a car for 10 years. The longest I did for more than 10 years was lived in the same apartment maybe. And that was just 10 years. If you have weathered a marriage, a relationship with the same person for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and you are my age, 50, 51, something like that, in your 50s, my God, you need to write a book. You really do. You have some kind of magic. You have some kind of secret. You have some kind of voodoo that you need to share with the world, because that's a big deal. Like, that's a big deal. Some of your parents haven't been married as long as some of these 50-year-olds out here. So listen, y'all are doing it. Again, so I'm not here to bash marriage. I'm not here to tell people to go and get married. This is just my take on marriage. So, like I said, it can be a beautiful thing when you are with the person that the universe, that God, that you all have decided that you want to be with for the rest of your life. That's beautiful. Excuse me. But if you are getting married because the church, religion, pressure from the world, pressure from your girlfriends who have all gotten married or who are getting married, pressure from your boss, or a lot of people at your office, are getting married, people who you spend time around, associates, not even close friends. But if you're getting married for any other reason than because you just truly love this person and you truly can't imagine your life without them, you're getting married for the wrong reason and you're going to regret it. It's not as simple as, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll just go get a divorce. Yeah, if it were that simple, people would get married 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Well, they have, but that's another story. But it's not just that simple. So once you enter into this legal contract with this person, and you all buy property together, houses, cars, merchandise, furniture, electronics, things like that. It sounds simple with me just saying it that way, but God forbid if you should decide that you no longer want to be with this person for whatever the reason, because people get divorced for what I would consider small things, and then sometimes people get divorced because the person who they thought they wanted to be married to has committed some of the worst kind of social crimes or marital crimes and things like that. So people get divorced for, a myriad of different reasons, but Once you decide to file for divorce, and especially if you have children together, it's not the cakewalk that you think it's going to be getting away from it. First of all, divorces do cost. Divorces are not free. It's it even costs to file the paperwork to get the divorce. And then if the person that you're married to contest because they want the TV, because they say that that's their couch, because they say they bought the dog, but you said you bought the dog. So how do you split a dog in half? Because they don't want you to have the children. They want the children. They don't want visitation. They don't want you to have visitation. They're so angry with you that you don't want to be with them, or they're so angry with you that you want the marriage to end, or you're so angry with them because you feel like they're not worthy of you anymore. Whatever the reason, now you're fighting over children. And sis, like I said in the post, the response to the post, you can give that TV to him or to her. You can give them all the things they ask for. What the girl say in the song? You can say whatever you want to say about me as long as it's over. But there's something different when there are children involved. So I don't want to stray too far, but those things are very important. Think about all of the things, when you're thinking about this wedding, when you're thinking about getting married. Don't just think about the fancy party. That's the easy part. I'm a photographer. I've done several weddings. And they were beautiful. Whoever planned these weddings that I've been the photographer at, I've been at weddings where they were so beautiful that I had to go in the corner and wipe my eyes because these weddings were beautiful. Some of the best productions ever. These wedding coordinators probably are not worth, they're probably worth more than what they were ever paid. Just to throw my own hat in there to my own horn, I had a beautiful, and when I say I had a beautiful, beautiful Ghanaian wedding, one for the books, the whole Coming to America thing, it was absolutely gorgeous. The marriage was another thing. You have to know. You have to know. And so I have 3 points. In terms of the marriage itself. First of all, use your common sense. Use your common sense. You're if you're planning to get married to someone, and after they propose marriage to you, then you're engaged. If the representative that proposed, and I'm just throwing a scenario out there because the man that proposed to you may be God sent. So this isn't for you. This is for that woman, and I'm mainly talking to women. Of course, this applies to both genders, but I'm mainly talking to women. If that man that proposed to you is doing everything the right way, you don't have any questions, you don't have any doubt, turn this video off because this isn't for you. This video is for that queen who has that nagging voice in the back of her head that's saying something that's not right. So this man has proposed to you and has given you a beautiful ring. He even proposed to you, and it was the most beautiful proposal. He did it in front of your friends and family. He had it all planned out. It was, again, for the books. It was something that, you're going to save the recording forever, and you're going to show it to the kids and all this kind of stuff. But then he starts to act different. But then he starts to get possessive. Now he wants to question, where you going? Well, who you going with? Well, when you coming back? So when you're out, he's calling your phone 5, 6, 7 times. Where are you? Who you with? Let me speak to her. Make sure you with her. Where you going now? Why you gotta wear that? You gonna wear that? You showing a little bit too much skin. Well, why you gonna wear your hair like that? I don't. You gonna wear those shoes? Those shoes make you. But because he's proposed to you, it's fitting your timeline as to when you want to get married. He has the money to give you the wedding of your dreams. You start to ignore those things. You ignore those signs. You know that you weren't raised to be questioned. You weren't raised to tolerate someone questioning you, and it's a form of abuse. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it's a form of abuse. No one has the right, if you're 25, 26, 30, 40, to question you. No one no one has the right to tell you what to wear. No one has the right to call you 5 or 6 times when you're out with your girlfriends and want to speak to one of the girlfriends to prove that you're with the girlfriend and not anywhere else. Why now is he so insecure? Why now does he question what you have on? You met him with that same dress on. You met him with your hair that way. You met him with the way your cleavage was showing. Now all of a sudden that he's put that ring on your finger, you can't do that anymore. You can't go with those people anymore. I don't like her anymore, but she set us up. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't be together. So now you have a problem with her, or you have a problem with him, because now that you've given me this ring, you feel some type of ownership. Is that what I hear you're saying? Because no. But if you ignore that, and if you look at that as love, if you look at that as cute, this is just the beginning, sis. This is just the beginning of what's to come. Abuse comes in many different forms. So listen to your brain. Listen to that inner voice in your head. It's not lying to you. You're not crazy. Listen to it. So he's questioning everything. Maybe that's not his deal. So now, all of a sudden, he has a new group of friends. Friends that you've never met. Friends that you still haven't met. Friends that you've asked to meet, and he still hasn't introduced you to them. These friends keep him out all night. These friends send him home drunk. These friends have him coming home smelling like marijuana. These friends even come home smelling like your favorite perfume. These friends are friends that you don't need to worry about. I know you're not clocking me. See, that's what I'm talking about. You insecure. No, you used to come here. You used to come home consistently. Whatever time of night that was, you used to come home consistently. Now you stay out all night. Now when I call you, I can't ever reach you. Now when I call you, you have a million different excuses. Oh, I left my phone in the car. Oh, my battery died. Oh, I didn't even hear a ring. Oh, my phone was on silent. I'm going to say this phrase a million times because sometimes that's what it takes. Repetition. Whatever you put up with while you're dating, it's not going to change. It's not going to go away. It's probably going to get worse. Especially if you don't address it. Especially if he doesn't correct it now. You can't pretend that it doesn't bother you in the beginning and then expect to change him once you get married. I know you heard this phrase before, and I'm going to say it too because I think it's kind of cute. The only man that you can change is a baby, and that's his diaper. You're not going to change him. If you didn't like that he partied, smoked, drank, hit you, was verbally abusive to you, was unattentive to you, didn't open up to you, and you think that because now I'm going to marry him, that I'm going to change him, that he's not going to be like that when we get married. Once I get him and I start cooking for him and we live together, he's not going to be like that. You're lying to yourself and you know it. You're lying to yourself and you know it. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Listen to your inner voice. That's the same as listening to God, because God speaks to you through your inner voice. You may not hear, and you shouldn't, because if you do, that's a problem. But you hear God. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. Don't ignore your inner voice, because that's God. I don't know what you believe, and so you may not want to use that term or use that phrase or use that name, but listen to your inner voice. That's the God, that's the universe, that's a higher power speaking to you, warning you not to do it. I don't care if it's the night before the wedding. If there are any signs, if there is any sense of doubt, if there's the smallest sense of doubt, you need to get away. You need to stop. You may lose money. You may lose deposits. You may feel embarrassed for years to come, months to come. I don't know. But going into a marriage that was not ordained by God, going into a marriage that you know is not safe, that is not healthy, that is not for your best, is the worst thing that you can do to your life. Listen to your family and friends. Listen to your family and friends. Now, if you have that family member that is just a natural hater, if you have that family member that is just jealous of you and they've been jealous of you since you were a child and they've been competing with you, don't listen to that person. But if this family member or friend is someone who you really trust, they've always had your back, they've always had your best interest at heart, listen to them. And if they've taken the time, if they've mustered up the courage to come to you and say, sis, can I talk to you? I don't feel right about this. I know you want to get married, and I know you are planning this really big wedding, but I just wish that you would stop. I wish that you would really think. They may not want to tell you where they saw him. They may not want to tell you what they saw him doing because they're scared. And maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings, but if they don't give you a specific reason that they know is going to hurt your feelings, it's going to break your heart. If they just say, just trust me. Please don't do this. Please don't do this right now. Please ask him about this and listen to them. Listen to them. Experience is a damn good teacher, but advice is a nicer teacher. Experience will rock your ass. Experience will kick your ass. Experience will wear you down. Experience will turn your hair gray. If you listen and take advice from someone who's done it, someone who's been there, someone who's done that and got the t-shirt, you can save yourself a whole lot of headache, and you can save yourself a whole hell of a lot of money. Lastly, don't listen to the church. I said it. Sue me, hate me, cancel me, whatever. Don't listen to the religious people who say you're going to go to hell if you don't get married, if you live in sin, if you shack up. Some of those same people who tell you not to shack got 4 boyfriends, got 4 girlfriends, that's running everything and everything and everything, got a husband and 3 other boyfriends, and you just don't know it because they're good at what they do. They have women who, talking about men, who they never marry. But they tell you don't shack up. Picture that. They tell you you need to get married and you living in sin and God's not going to. And they have a girlfriend who they're not married to, who they're shacking with. Huh. I digress. Ultimately, it's on you. If you listen to an ideology, religion, that says if you don't get married, and if you're not married by this time and by this date, and if you have children before you get married, and if you live with someone before you get married, and then you listen to them, you listen to that ideology, you listen to those people, to that group of people, when they're home and they're off on vacation and they're being loved and showered with love and they're in their happy marriage or not, and you're home crying by yourself, lonely and regretting while you're still paying off that wedding bill, they're not going to be there to comfort you. They're not going to be there to console you. They're going to be off on their own doing their thing. They're going to be doing what's best for them, whatever that is, even if their marriage is rocky. If they've learned to cope with that rocky marriage, and a lot of people have, a lot of people just deal with their spouses or their wives or husbands or whomever because they've learned to cope, because they didn't want to get divorced, because they were too ashamed to get divorced, because that wasn't the thing to do, because they had too much invested. And here's the kicker. They wanted to stay married for the children. That's another video for another day. I'm not going to do that because we'll be here all night. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the only person that you have to please is you. If when you look in the mirror after that wedding and you're not completely happy, if when you look in the mirror after that wedding and you are in any way regretting, and then he really starts to show, I mean really starts to show who he is, you're going to hear "I told you so" every day, even if nobody else ever says it. Even if nobody else ever says it. So I say all this to say, you have to please you. You have to live with yourself. Don't go into a marriage for a wedding. Don't go into a marriage for a big, fancy, expensive party. If you have the money and you have the wherewithal and you really, really, really love this person, invest in some property. If you don't want to invest in some property, go on a vacation and see the world. There are so many things that you can do to really see if this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. If you have that money, go somewhere, do something, invest in some real time away from the hustle and bustle so you can get to know your soon-to-be spouse. Again, I want to reiterate, I want to say it 10,000 times. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is beautiful when it works. But if you're only getting married for a wedding, you're making a really big mistake. Stop forcing these people to get married, y'all. Stop forcing these people to get married. Stop pressuring them to get married because that's what happened to you. Stop pressuring them to get married and lying to them and telling them that God is going to damn them to hell because they don't get married. What kind of God do you serve? What kind of God do you love that would send you to the pits of hell because you wanted to take your time to really get to know a person before you entered into a contract that you say that God ordained only to break that contract that you then say is also a sin. So am I to stay with someone who I'm not happy with because I don't want to disappoint God? Am I supposed to marry someone who I really don't know because I don't want to disappoint God? It's about you. It's about your life. And if you're blessed to live a long life, 50, 60, 70 years, and you spend 15, 20 of it with someone who you didn't know, who you really don't like because you don't want to disappoint God, which you can't do because He loves you and He knows you. He already knows what you're going to do. He's already planned your whole life. Are you going to listen and deviate from that plan and go against His plan for you? That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother video. But ultimately, think about your time. Yesterday, whatever you had planned to do, if you didn't do it, you can't get it back. 10 years ago, whatever you had planned to do, if you didn't do it, you can't get that back. For those of us who are 40, 50, even older, who have gone through a divorce, however long you were married to that person, you are never going to get those years back. You're never going to get those years back. And each of us, I know for a fact, and I will put money on it, were warned not to marry that person. Each of us, especially if it ended in a very tumultuous way, somebody told us not to marry that person. Somebody warned us. You heard God, you heard that voice, but you did it anyway because you had a wedding planned. It'd be different if you went to the Justice of the Peace and you had maybe even a nice reception or something like that. But when you go all out and you go into debt and you have to take out loans to get married, to have a wedding, 9 times out of 10, regardless of what the world said, regardless of what family said, you heard that voice in the back of your head that said, this is not the one. I've known people who have, hours before their wedding, the night before, canceled. I can't do it. That's the bravest thing, that's the bravest decision that anybody will ever have to make in their life. And sometimes it takes that to save your own life. To save your own life. Here's another one, and this one it speaks to the times that we live in. Again, learn so much from these young, brave women who have made videos on YouTube. And this other one is finding out that the person that you are married to or are in a long-term relationship with is living an alternative lifestyle. What do I mean by that? I'm so glad that you asked. You find out later that the man that you are married to, or the man that you are engaged to, or the man that you're in a serious relationship with is having sexual relations with another man or other men. Whatever a person's choice is, whoever they want to be with, God be with you. God bless you. Relationship is relationship. It doesn't matter if he's having a relationship with another woman or if he's having a relationship with another man. If he's not just with you and he promised to only be with you, there's a problem. The problem is not just because of the gender of the person he's chosen. The problem is that he's lied to you. He's not who he said he was. He's not keeping the covenant with you that he promised to keep with you. And there are signs for that too, according to these videos. And there are signs that you get that, again, maybe sometimes you just ignore because you don't want to believe that a person is sleeping around with whomever they're sleeping around with. You don't want to believe that they're creeping around with someone other than being with you. There are telltale signs in all of that. But you have to listen. You have to open your eyes. You have to open this third eye. and put aside the fact that you planned this wedding and that you've been planning this wedding for 10 years, even before you met this person, because you want a wedding. Because you want a wedding. You didn't think about marriage. You didn't think about the work. And if you ask any couple that's been married for a long time, they're going to say marriage is work. And it is. It is. It's a lot of work. And for some of us, we have the time and the patience, and we want to put that work in, and we want to go the distance. And some of us want to, or are able to, forgive over and over and over and over again. Mm. Oh. Oh, that's good tea. Listen, listen. Last I checked, my name ain't God. My name ain't God. And if I'm being faithful to you, if I'm coming home every day, if I am doing everything that I'm supposed to do in this relationship, in this marriage, if I'm putting in the same effort that I put in to get you, if I'm keeping myself up the way I did when you met me, if I take the time to do my hair, do my makeup, to stay fresh and to stay the same person, and that's the work. You didn't meet the representative. When you meet Nicole, you meet Nicole. I don't have time for her. I don't have time to put on facades. This is what you get. This is who you get. If you don't want, and I'm talking to my sisters again, if you're not going to take the time to be the woman that he met, if you're not going to take the time to do your hair the way he did, the way you did when you first met him, because you kept yourself up. Babe, you kept yourself up. There was something about you. There was a spark. There was a sparkle about you that drew him to you initially. If you're not going to take the time to be that person, and I'm not talking about weight. We all have gained weight. We will gain weight. Things change. Your health changes. I'm not talking about that. But if you were a nice, sweet, nice girl, and you were a genuinely sweet girl, and you did things for him. You made his plate. You washed his clothes. For some of us, you were ideal. You put yourself in a wife position. You did wife-like things. And then all of a sudden now you get this ring and you get the wedding, and now all of a sudden, I ain't fixing his plate. I ain't his mother. I ain't washing his clothes. Who he think he is? He ain't my child. He better. And you're speaking to him in a very nasty tone, emasculating him, embarrassing him, just being overly aggressive, just not being the woman who you were when y'all met before the wedding. That's a problem too, in defense of my brothers, and I've seen it. Yeah, I said it. I've seen it. The same way that men should not change and should not become possessive and unattentive and inconsistent, the same things are expected of us. The same things are expected of us. So don't spend 10, 15, 20,000 or more for a wedding and then forget who the person that proposed to you fell in love with. Don't change, and don't lose yourself. Don't make them regret marrying you. Don't make them regret spending all this money on you. If you want a wedding, you want a big fancy party, you should throw yourself a party. But if you're not going to be, or try to put effort into being the same person that he fell in love with. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to her son. That's that woman's son. Okay, sis. Don't emasculate him. Don't become a bitch. Because he would not have married a bitch. And I'm almost through. Because I feel like I'm, kind of straying about to preach. But don't become a bitch. Don't become that one who he can't recognize on a Saturday in the summertime when it's 90 degrees outside and there's women every which way. His head is on a swivel. And when he look at you, it's like, damn. Because you don't do your hair anymore. Because guess what? You're married now. You don't put any makeup on because guess what? I'm married now. You don't put any earrings on. You don't put any clothes on that are flattering. You don't care about how you look, how you smell, anything. Because guess what? You got that ring and you good. And they'll wonder why his head is on a swivel and wonder why he don't want to come home. Don't do that. Weddings only last for what? 5, 6, 7 hours? Not even a whole day. And that's it. Marriage is supposed to be forever. If you don't have forever in you, if you can't see forever with this person, do not do it. That's not fair to him. It's not fair to the children that you may bring into it. It's not fair to the children that are already born that now have to live with the post-wedding people. It's not fair to any of them. It's not fair to yourself. So, sis, bruh, but mostly to my sisters, don't spend $20,000 to say I do. It's not worth it. Wait until your birthday and give yourself, if you have that kind of money, give yourself a big fancy party. Go down there and rent the hall. Go get you a badass, fly-ass dress. It's your birthday. You can dress how you want to dress. If you turn in 33, go get you a train and get you some people to celebrate you. Get you some drummers. Get you whatever you want. But leave that man out of it, because if you don't have it in you for forever, and if you're not going to listen to people who are trying to save your life, who are trying to save you money, who are trying to save you the embarrassment because they seen him downtown with a whole bunch of dudes. And I'm not talking about his friends. I'm talking about some other men's. Don't do it. If you're not going to listen and take heed to when he puts his hands on you and say, oh, it was only one time. If it was only one time before y'all got married, it's going to be 4 times a day after you get married. You have to take all these things into consideration. Go get a marriage counselor. And be honest with that marriage counselor. And if that marriage counselor asks you, has there been any sort of abuse, any kind of abuse, be honest with that marriage counselor. That's supposed to be a safe space. And if you feel like you have to lie in front of that marriage counselor because you're scared of either losing your husband-to-be, or you're scared of when you leave that when y'all go home he's going to kick your ass, you shouldn't be getting married anyway. Again, don't ask me how I know. But again, I digress. This was on my heart. And I want to help somebody. I want to save somebody. I want to be the voice of reason. If you've come to this channel and you're watching this video, that's the universe already speaking to you, because the universe won't have you to listen to or get anything into your soul that is not for you. I didn't make this video by happenstance. The things that I said, already prayed over, they're not coming from my mouth just to fill up space. I'm done. I'm through. Breathe. Keep calm and be fabulous. Have a good life. Be a good wife. Haha, I like that. If you're going to get married, be a good wife. Be a good husband. If you don't want to get married, if you do not want to get married and you just want to be with this person, if you don't want to enter into a legal binding contract with this person, don't do it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. If someone is pressuring you to get married, they need to go and you need to go. Marriage is for you. It's not for them. It's not for anybody else but you and that man, you and that woman, you and that other person. It's for y'all. You don't need to spend $20,000 to show me that you love me. You want to prove to me that you love me? Be the same person that I met 5, 10, 20 years from now. You want to show me that you love me? Stay faithful to me. You want to show me that you love me? Talk to me. Listen to me. Hear me. You want to show me that you love me? Be consistent. Give me a ring and give me money for a wedding is not about love. That's to please the world. Some of us don't need money or a wedding to know that you love us. Time, consistency, attention. That's what we're looking for. Y'all be easy. Love y'all. Peace.